The happy world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening, this is the 5FM Radio Main News, the headlines. Free education policy to be enacted into law. Government reaffirms commitment to protecting children from online abuse and exploitation. And high-stakes but low expectations ahead of Ukraine talks with Russia and US. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and also streaming live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. President Hakainde Hichilema has announced that the free education policy will be enacted into law once Parliament opens in order to ensure its continuity. Speaking during a briefing at Community House, President Hichilema said the strong performance recorded by learners was driven by several factors, chief among them the implementation of the free education policy. The president has since commended teachers, learners, and other education stakeholders for the impressive pass rate recorded by the 2025 Grade 12 cohort. Mr. Hichilema further urged stakeholders in the education sector to apply the Kenneth Kaunda approach to education, which he said promotes discipline and moral values among learners. He emphasized that discipline remains a key pillar in achieving quality education and national development.
That's important. Free education. You have said it in your own words. And I want to say to you today that as Parliament opens, we will proceed, this government, this president government will proceed to legislate to make free education into law so that no one comes to reverse this policy. Because a policy can easily be reversed. Yeah. But to reverse the law, you have got to go through a process that will expose you. And citizens will say no. I can't man. So we're taking this step further, especially encouraged by these results, isn't it? Against all odds. The recruitment of teachers, 30,000 in one shot. Nobody has done it before.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has held a political party liaison committee meeting in Sorenja district ahead of the Muchinda ward by-election. The meeting took place today at the Sorenja Council Chamber and brought together representatives from the United Party for National Development, UPND, the United Progressive People's Party, UPP, the Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD, as well as the Zambia Police Service. Officially opening the meeting, District Electoral Officer and Council Secretary Stan Mwanakayaya emphasized the need for peaceful campaigns and urged political parties to refrain from violence. Mr. Mwakayaya said the campaign period officially commenced today at 14 hours and will run until Wednesday, the 11th of February 2026. UPND District Chair Lady Nora Kamfwa echoed the call for peace, reaffirming her party's commitment to non-violent campaigns in line with President Hakainde Hichilema's directives. She warned that any party member found engaging in violence would face the law. The meeting ended with all political parties denouncing political violence and committing themselves to free, fair and peaceful campaigns. The Muchinda ward by-election follows the death of Councillor Thomas Piri on the 3rd of January 2026. The government has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting children from abuse, exploitation, and harmful content in the digital space. Speaking at the Child Online Protection Children's Conference, a representative of the Ministry of Technology and Science, Mr. Genzile Zulu, said government has put in place a strong legal and policy framework anchored in the Children's Code Act No. 12 of 2022. Mr. Zulu explained that the act domesticates Zambia's international obligations under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, underscoring government's determination to safeguard children's rights both offline and online. He acknowledged that children in Zambia are increasingly exposed to online risks such as cyberbullying, stalking, exposure to pornographic and sexual abuse material, financial fraud, hacking, fake news, and reputational harm. Mr. Zulu further noted that the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, through the Department of Social Welfare and Child Development, plays a key role in enforcing child rights standards, formulating child welfare policies, and raising public awareness on online safety. He stressed that protecting children online requires collective responsibility from government, parents, schools, and the wider community.
For us, the protection of children from maltreatment and any other form of exploitation, including the digital space, is a fundamental right enshrined in policy and legislative frameworks. And if you look at the Children's Court Act number 12 of 2022, which reflects a domestication of most of our international commitments through the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, but also the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. So we are committed to ensuring that that right is enjoyed by all our children. As a country, we have put in place several measures and strategies to ensure that this is achieved, and we've done that through our policy and legislative frameworks that cut across different sectors.
Meanwhile, UNICEF representative Tekani Musonda said the conference, held under the National Child Online Protection Strategy, was significant as it deliberately placed children at the center of discussions, allowing them to share their experiences and contribute to solutions. Ms. Musonda reaffirmed government's commitment to implementing the National Child Policy, the Cybersecurity Policy, and the Cybersecurity Act Number 2 of 2025, while strengthening interagency coordination and promoting evidence-based policy making.
The digital space has become an integral part of how children learn to communicate and express themselves, while technology represents immense opportunities for education, innovation, and connection. It also represents serious risks when not properly governed, understood, or safeguarded. Issues such as cyberbullying, online exploitation, exposure to harmful content, and misuse of personal data are real and growing concerns that demand coordinated national action. The conference is therefore significant not only because it brings stakeholders together, but because it deliberately places children at the center of conversation.
Nkele Faifai, who represented children at the conference, said the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services remains key in responding to online child protection challenges in line with the Children's Code Act.
We are part of the generation growing up with the internet as a big part of our lives. These are our reflections of the National Child Online and Protection Strategy. The National Child Online Protection Strategy recognizes that the internet is a powerful tool for learning, creativity, and connection. It opens doors for us, whether it was school, discovering new ideas, or staying in touch with friends and family far away. This is the promise of access and positive use, making sure children can benefit safely from the digital world.
The conference was convened by the Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority ZICTA in partnership with UNICEF and Plan International, and brought together government institutions, regulators, civil society organizations, and development partners. The Zambia Police Service has confirmed a suspected murder case reported in Lusaka's Woodlands area. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Chipo Kaitisha says Woodlands Police Station received the report in the early hours of January 5th, 2026 around 01 hours. The report was made by 46-year-old Paul Mwamba of Charleston, Kamanga's area, who discovered the body of an unknown female laying face down along Fair Road near the Bamaru Junction. Police officers rushed to the scene and found the body wearing one shoe, with the second shoe later discovered about 100 meters away. Ms. Kaitisha says officers observed bruises on the forehead, bleeding from the nose, cuts inside the mouth, and a small chain lodged in the mouth. Ms. Kaitisha says the body was taken to the University Teaching Hospital mortuary pending identification and post-mortem. On January 21st, the deceased was identified as 38-year-old Maya Zimba of Woodlands. Police have conveyed condolences to the family and say investigations are ongoing.
Along Fair Road in Woodlands near the junction with Burma Road. Police officers rushed to the scene and found the body lying face down, wearing one shoe. Further 100 bleeding from the nose, cuts inside the mouth, and a small chain logged in the mouth. The body was subsequently collected and deposited to the University Teaching Hospital mortuary, awaiting identification and post-mortem.
And in other news, Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Prudence Chinamakangwa says the expansion of Mununshi Fruit Company Limited in Mwense District is set to transform the province's economic landscape through diversification, job creation, and increased household incomes. Zambia Union of Professional Educators, or ZUPE General Secretary Moka Sibeta, has praised the 2025 Grade 12 cohort for showing that candidates can achieve excellent results without resorting to malpractices. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Ministry of Tourism has praised the Department of National Parks and Wildlife for successfully intelligence conducted between the 19th and 21st of January 2026. The operations led to the arrest of several suspects involved in illegal timber harvesting, wildlife trafficking, and poaching across Western, Eastern, Lusaka, and Muchinga provinces. In a statement, Minister of Tourism Principal Public Relations Officer Nelly Banda said the operations demonstrate government's firm commitment to protecting Zambia's natural heritage. Ms. Banda says in Western Province, 4 suspects were arrested in the Imusho area after officers seized 51 unmarked Mukwa logs, while 6 others were apprehended in Senanga district for illegal rosewood harvesting. In Eastern Province, 2 suspects were arrested during a joint operation with the Forest Department in Chasefu district. Meanwhile, she says in Lusaka, 4 suspects were found in possession of a live tree pangolin, a protected species. Ms. Banda says in Muchinga province, 1 suspect was arrested for poaching in the West Musalangu game management area. The ministry has urged members of the public to report environmental crimes and reaffirmed its commitment to safeguarding Zambia's wildlife and forests. Ends the business news, and in foreign news, negotiators from Russia, Ukraine, and the US are meeting in Abu Dhabi for their first trilateral talks since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the United Arab Emirates Foreign Ministry says. Senior officials from all 3 nations are involved, but it is unclear whether they will be in the same room together at any point. And whilst the talks take a new format, the core differences remain the same. The stakes are high, but expectations are limited. And in sports news, Power Dynamos defender Bamidele says there will not be divided loyalty when his club Power Dynamos hosts Rivers United from his home country, Nigeria, tomorrow. Speaking during the pre-match press conference for the CAF Champions League Group A match between Power Dynamos and Rivers United, Bamidele said the Zambian champions would aim to collect their first maximum points in the group stage. Bamidele says although he knows about the Nigerian league and players, what will be key will be Power Dynamos' preparations for tomorrow's game. He has appealed to fans to turn up in numbers and support the Zambian Super League champions. Power Dynamos and Rivers United of Nigeria will be hoping to resuscitate their flagging champion league campaign tomorrow when they face each other at Levi Manawasa Stadium. Stand by for the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is partly cloudy, windy at times, and mired with isolated rain. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has announced that the free education policy will be enacted into law once Parliament opens. The government has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting children from abuse, exploitation, and harmful content in the digital space. Negotiators from Russia, Ukraine, and the US are meeting in Abu Dhabi for their first trilateral talks since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the United Arab Emirates Foreign Ministry says. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie Banda. Enjoy the rest of the evening.